All right, guys. So this is the first video, and this is also phase one to actually scale your agency to 7 figures. So the first thing you need to do before you can pump the water out of your boat, that was probably a bad metaphor, but anyways, before you can start using the pump, you have to prime the pump. So phase one is priming the pump. There's a few steps that are involved with this, so we're just going to jump into it and kind of just go in depth into what these steps are. So the first step is you need to pick a niche and identify your target market. This is sort of a debate that goes back and forth. People are like, pick a niche. People are like, don't pick a niche. Choose a target market. Go broad. That sort of thing. Both are basically correct, but you can make things a lot easier for yourself if you pick a niche and identify your target market. Couple reasons. The first reason is if you pick a niche, you basically limit the area of focus you need to put time and effort into. If you go broad and you're basically targeting everyone, you have to put a lot of time and effort into understanding a ton of different businesses, a ton of different models, a ton of different industries. So you can save a lot of time and little learning curves of picking a specific niche. So you only have to focus on one specific pie or one specific pie of the market. You don't have to focus on the whole thing. It takes a lot of time and effort. So if you focus on one niche, what that means, to translate further, is we go for landscapers. Okay, that's one niche, one specific part. We could spend a lot of time up front learning that niche in and out. We know the lingo. We know things they care about, things that they don't care about. We know what they like. We know their concerns. We know their questions. And so when we get on the phone with these people, this is one practical use case. When we get on the phone with these people, we sort of already know what challenges they're already facing. We know what services they generally offer. And it kind of builds our credibility to be kind of the expert in the industry. It's really difficult to do that if you expand further to just do that for every single buddy. Now, over time, you will gain so much experience and insight into different industries anyways, that you'll sort of get this broad knowledge of business in general. But in the meantime, don't even worry yourself about that and don't put so much on your plate. I would say pick a niche, and then identifying your target market is just going to help you kind of understand what services they're most in need of, so that when you get on the phone and you're pitching, you're selling a service, you know that this is most in line with what they need. I might go over this a little bit later too, but it also helps with pricing. So this might be a future point. I'll touch on this again. But if you know your niche market, then you should sort of have an idea of how much a general business in that market, like a landscaping company, how much they make per year, how much they generally invest towards marketing. Therefore, you sort of know, well, maybe I'm not really going to pitch these guys a larger package. I'm going to pitch them like the medium-sized package. That's usually within the average spending that they invest anyways. So let's move on to step 2. Build strong relationships. So like I said before, when you focus in on one niche, I like niche, then what that does is when you have less area of the market to focus on, you know more about that. Also, there's less businesses in a niche than there are in the total market, which means you can actually spend time with each person, owner or business, and actually build a strong relationship with them. People want to do business with people they like, people they know, and the resistance wall is down. They're excited to work with you. So it gives you the opportunity to build strong relationships than you would be able to do with a more broad open market. There's really no target. You're just kind of shotgunning a message out there. So building strong relationships is really going to be a huge contributing factor to what's going to give you the reputation. People will support you. So when you grow, they'll refer. I mean, there's so many things that come out of strong relationships. That's number 2. Step number 3 is shrink the competition. Again, this sort of goes into what I just talked about. When you focus less on the big market, there's less people to compete with. When you focus on one specific area, there's less people to compete with in that realm than the entire market. So how you're able to shrink competition is sort of a slew of different things. It's a plethora of different stuff. You can build a name for yourself quicker. Less people in the industry, you treat one person well, word travels, then you kind of build a good reputation. There's less people to compete with, so there's more opportunity for you to distinguish yourself in a unique way. Also with building relationships, that could be something how you shrink competition. Majority of the people might like your personality more. They might want to work with you or your company or your branding more than other companies. So you have less to compete with, less people. Therefore, you have a better opportunity to distinguish yourself. Step number 4 is sort of similar to step 3, which is you get to enjoy increased visibility. So, like I mentioned, where you stand out of the crowd, this is sort of like a build off of what I just mentioned. With yourself being able to compete with less people, have more opportunity to distinguish yourself from that small group of competitors, you're then able to increase your visibility because everyone is going to be talking about you, hearing about you. If you're running like marketing campaigns, there's less people to market to. Therefore, your dollars being spent on budgets or whatever marketing campaigns you're doing goes a bit further because there's less people to hit, right? So if you spend, I guess the idea would be like, a group of 10 people is easier to reach than a group of 10,000 people. And actually, potentially, the logic would be less expensive too. Okay, there's also like additional benefits that I want to go over. Those are basically the 4 steps that you have to kind of dissect and really understand and really get a good foundation when you're starting to build the foundation of your marketing agency, when you want to scale. This is like the stuff you need to prime and prep your pump before you start working. So additional benefits for doing this is more quickly you can achieve brand loyalty, which is really, really important because people oftentimes will also want to work with the brand because they feel connected to it. They feel like it represents them in a external way. There's things like that. So brand loyalty is really specific. Number 2 would be you can spend less on marketing and advertising. This is kind of what I mentioned before a little bit, but less people to hit, logically less money. Number 3 is you can enjoy higher profit margins. So this is something I didn't touch on. If you focus on a specific area, you become a specialist. This is sort of applied to like healthcare in a way, right? You have a general practitioner. Then you go, well, I don't work on knees. You got to go to the, whatever the Latin root for knee is, the knee doctor, foot, throat, and ear and nose, whatever. That's a specialist. You become the specialist of that niche. Therefore, you sort of can charge more for your services because you specialize in that one specific area. You don't offer services to anyone else. You only offer services to this because that's the one niche you excel most at. So if you want top of the top, you got to pay top of the top. Number 4 is acquire expertise. Now this is something I did mention. If you focus on one area and put 100% of your time, you're going to master it, right? You don't want to be a jack of all trades. It's harder to master a bunch of different trades. It's easier to master one trade. I think there was something I saw when I was in college that it takes 10,000 hours to become a master at something. So imagine trying to do that across many different industries. That's 10,000 plus 10,000. You get my point. So with this, you're able to acquire expertise in the field because you focus on one area and one topic and you do really well. So there's other things too with setting up your fundamentals and making sure you prime your pump. Another area to prime your pump is making sure that you're a part of like-minded people. If you are with people who drag you down, you're with people who aren't supportive, who aren't maybe doing the same thing you're doing, let alone being connected with people who are successful at this, it's going to be difficult to kind of navigate. So we have a free Facebook group at DashClicks. I recommend you join it. It's in the resources. It's join our Facebook DashClicks group. I'd recommend joining that because that community is a spectrum of different people that you get to connect with. So you get to connect with me, the CEO of DashClicks, Chad. We have some help that manages the group too, but you can connect with literally thousands of agency owners that are just starting. Maybe you're there too. We have people in the middle. They're making, their first handful of clients. We have people who are making $10,000 above, and people who are making way, eons more than that in that group too. So you really get to tap into a free Facebook group that's going to support you. You have questions, we'll answer them, and it's just going to be there to help you out in your journey. So you can just save years of wasted time. It's really just going to make things so much better. So go ahead and join that group. Another factor to this is if you are focusing on a specific niche, you're going to have to find specific people who specialize in that niche, or at least have niche specific expertise or experience. That's what I was going for. Experience in that field. So now you're talking about hiring help, because if you're just starting off and you've never been in an industry or a niche you choose, you're going to have to now learn how to offer services in that niche. You might have to learn how to do Facebook ads. That takes a lot of time. You might have to learn how to do Facebook ads. Takes a lot of time. Let alone SEO. If you know how SEO works, that is a wazoo of tasks you have to do just for one client. So you're going to have to learn all these different things. But guess what? You don't necessarily have to. So the next thing you got to focus on is not only picking a niche, learning it, learning how to do sales in there, which is really what you really should just be focusing on, is sales and growth. Don't worry about learning any of these services. That's why you can sign up for free with DashClicks and utilize our white labeled fulfillment services that we have. So by the way, we are in most niches worldwide. So you could tap into our expertise. We've tested things. We've done it. We have the team. We have the expertise. We got the resources, the staff, the teams, all of that. You don't have to learn any of it. You can basically just utilize our services. It's white labeled, which means that it's branded towards your company. So your clients will only see your branding, your logo. They'll never know that's just DashClicks doing it. You can even join a Slack group and chat with your marketing team. It's like super cool, super legit. So the point is, you're able to tap into instant expertise. You become a niche expert. You offer niche expert services. You basically have a full-scale agency. You have the fundamentals needed to get started. So other fundamentals to think about too beyond that is, since you have fulfillment, you got your sales, you're now learning how to, the industry, the lingo, you're doing all that. How are you actually now going to generate leads to start the opportunity? Well, there's certain areas you need to now focus on too. This is also part of your fundamentals. Maybe you want to think about creating a landing page or website. Maybe you want to also create a landing page and do paid ads to drive traffic. Maybe you want to have SEO done on your website so you can start doing organic search traffic, right? Creating a landing page is easier, I'd say, than a website because there's just less of it. Maybe you're creating a 2-page landing page, a 4-page landing page with one specific information, one offer, schedule a free consultation, that sort of thing. So maybe you want to make a lead generation strategy. That's where I'm leading to. There are 4 stages to a lead generation strategy or process. The first area is lead conversion. The second area is lead awareness. Actually, that's not really in order. Let's actually do it this way. First of all, it's lead awareness, lead education, lead sampling, lead conversion. In layman's terms, what that means is you're introducing yourself to someone, you get to know them, you educate them on your product, you give them some kind of taste into what it looks like if they did work with you, then you ask for the sale. Okay? You can apply this 4-step fundamentals to pretty much anything, like your website, your landing page, sales process. But this is like a 4-stage effective lead generation process that you can use. I'm also going to add a link to a blog that we wrote about this. We actually have a steps to building and growing and scaling a 7-figure marketing agency blog. I'll add it to this so you can see all this information I'm going over in that blog as well. You also want to focus on creating a marketing message. What is a marketing message? It's kind of like an over-encompassing message that kind of just tells people what you do. Here's an example. I help media and entertainment companies by delivering cutting-edge digital marketing and PR solutions using the services of experienced digital marketing and PR professionals across the world. If you read that, you're going to kind of get the gist of what you do. So you want to also create a marketing message for your business. There's a few other parts to this as well. You want to use social media profiles for posting. Okay, you want to get branded. You can do personal like brand as well, but you want to also have branded social media so you can communicate further and educate people through social media channels. This is a free way to do it. It just takes a little bit of effort. Oops. Another area is post in your own Facebook group. Start creating a community. Start creating a buzz. Start guiding people towards you and start building credibility so people start continually see that you're putting out consistent content that relates to them, that gives them value. You're building your credibility in the industry, and you're building, you're really just building a community that could turn into clients. To showcase your expertise further, you could actually become active on other social groups. So if you join landscaping communities, you don't necessarily want to sell to them because they kind of shun upon that. What you want to do is try to actually add value into those groups. So if you see a post where someone's asking, landscapers asking questions about SEO or building a website, maybe you want to put your 2 cents into it. And then that builds credibility and you're networking within your niche market. So there's a lot of different things that you can do. The gist of this is sort of just like get out there and start walking the walk, talking the talk. If you want to become an expert in your field, in a specific niche, you need to attract new audiences. You need to get people to start noticing you. Start thinking, who is this guy? You know, that was a really good idea. I'm going to try that for my website. Hey, Daniel, by the way, I tried this. It worked. How can we work together? Starting conversations, creating opportunity. Here's a quick little action list of how you can actually engage with your audience once you start building it. You can write attention-grabbing posts. Don't just put mediocre posts out there. Put something that you know is going to people relate to. It's going to grab their attention. It's going to bring them in. It's going to make them engage with you. Number 2 is establish a dialogue with your audience or prospects. So, what kind of dialogue are you going to create and present to your audience or prospects? You know, what's gonna produce positive responses and what's gonna produce negative responses. And knowing that is gonna help you design really compelling posts. Make sure you focus on positive user experience too. You know, at the end of the day, reviews are king, right? Like, it's crazy how volatile reviews are in the sense of it can really turn your business on a good side or turn it flat. It's really insane how reviews have that much power. So making sure that whatever you're doing to, get out in the market, build credibility, have people notice, demand their attention, you really want to make sure you're not doing anything that will diminish a positive user experience. Creating that is really going to help people want to work with you even more. A couple more things to consider is you want to track customer engagement. So see what works, see what doesn't. If it doesn't work, maybe don't post it again. Just focus on things that get people interacting and know what works and what doesn't. The next one is we're going to do trending hashtags. Trends are like the thing of social media and the future. So always be up to date on what hashtags are working for you, what drives most traffic, what are people talking about, that sort of thing. It's also going to help you build those are my kids. It's also going to help you decide on what content you want to build. Focus on video, focus on images, focus on graphics. Try not to put out anything, again, that's mediocre. You want something, every post should have a lot of thought behind it. It should be intentional. Don't post anything if you're kind of on the fence or like, well, I just need to post today and get something out. It's not worth it. It won't do anything. It's going to be wasted time. Think about giving freebies and offers, upfront value, high value content offers, right? People love offers. People love free things. Why not offer something to them that they can give value? It increases your credibility. It's just going to make, again, people want to work with you more. Hey, get this free thing on how you can create a converting website for your landscaping company. It's free. Yeah, do that. Oh, Daniel, thank you so much. That was amazing. For sure. By the way, if you need help with it, just let me know. Do you know how much credibility that builds? Massive. Now, with all this said, it seems like a lot of work. And it is, but it's worth it. And if you want to start a business, you're going to have to be putting some hours in. But I would say don't commit to doing social media unless you commit to doing it every single day. The reason why social media is so powerful, the reason why social media works is because the person that is working on it is doing it consistently and doing it every single day. It's a lot of time, it's a lot of effort, but it's so worth it. The next thing is, especially for this little part section, the last part of the section, is going to be spend some time for lead generation. There's so many tools out there. There's like LinkedIn generation tools. There's Facebook generation tools. There's so many opportunities and tools out there. Some are free, some are paid. You can browse around, but that can automate all this for you. Like instead of sending messages manually through Facebook or LinkedIn, you can find an automation tool to do it for you. And so whatever process you can hone in on manually, find what works, you can automate that and take it off your plate and then move on to the next thing and then just follow that cycle in and out. So keep that in mind. The other thing too is you want to also focus on project management tools, because as you start building your business up, you're building hype, you're building buzz, you're going to have to start managing more and more things, whether that's clients or tasks, your team, whatever it is. So use tools like Slack, Trello. Trello is like a free project management tool. Slack's free to use as well for communication. And make sure that you're just getting things organized. You don't want to feel like you keep adding stuff to your plate and you can't delegate it, you can't automate it. You feel like you're working more and more hours and you're making no progress. So make sure whatever you're adding to your plate, it's scalable in the sense that you can automate it. And whatever you're automating, you have to test to make sure that it works. Last part of this video I want to go over is there's also a ton of really good resources that you can use. DashClicks is one of them. We have a full service white labeled marketing team that specializes in everything from Google ads, Facebook ads, SEO, content marketing, social media posting, and so much more at your fingertips. But also, you don't have to hire someone full time. That's sort of what I'm getting at with this. You have the DashClicks fulfillment team you can use. It's like a fraction of what you cost to spend on someone that's full time. And you also have resources like Fiverr or People Per Hour or Upwork, or there's so many other ones. I think there's like FreeUp, and there's tons of options. So just know that if you ever need help, you have DashClicks and you have all the other resources to add people onto your team. That really is inexpensive and it helps you scale further. All right, guys. This is the end of this video. If you have not done so, sign up for your free DashClicks account. Go to DashClicks.com, sign up for a forever free account. It's free to join. Jump in, explore all the cool apps, get familiar with it. Jump into the fulfillment store too and check out all the services we offer. You'll see how competitive our prices are. It's really quite amazing. So once you get through this video, you should have a good sense of kind of the things you need to think about, put in motion, and set for your marketing agency foundation. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next video.